This conference will now be recorded.
Just enter DIR. Okay. Program is compiled successfully then.
I'm getting this error.
C drive, software, Java, JRE7, lib. Okay. So can you do one thing? Can you please copy that a.java file inside the bin folder?
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. So can you please go to the bin folder and compile the program from the command prompt? Go to the bin folder from the command prompt.
Okay.
Is everyone understanding right what I'm trying to do? I want everyone to focus here. Are you people there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
Java C right now Java's 1 second Kathy. Java C command is there inside the bin folder and a.java file is also there inside the bin folder, so you can compile it. And similarly, Java command is there inside the bin folder and a.class is also there inside the bin folder now because it is compiled successfully. You'll get a.class file. So now you should be able to run the program. Can you run it? Can you run the program Java? Yes. So it is working. It
Yeah.
means there is no problem with your installation. That's what I want to make sure first. Whether the software is installed correctly or not. Correct?
Hmm.
So there is no
Okay.
problem with your installation. The Java C command is working, Java command is working. So now we have to look at the problem why it is not working when you're running the program from the desktop. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So can you please show me your path?
Which yeah.
Okay, hold on. So why did you kept C drive software Java JRE7 bin folder in the path?
I was trying yesterday.
Can you please see? Hold on. So
Yeah.
I want bin folder. I want bin folder which is present inside the JDK. Can you please
Hmm.
go and check your folder again, the bin folder path? So I want this particular path, JDK bin folder, right?
Yeah.
The Java C command and Java command, so both the commands are present inside this bin folder, correct?
Yes.
So I want this path in the environment variable, the path environment variable, I want this path, correct?
I already kept that.
No, show me that.
Here.
So why you, okay, can you, 1 second, system32. Can you do one thing? Can you move this to the top? Can you just, hold on. Can you remove the below two paths?
Yeah.
Can you click OK? Can you click OK? Okay, and close the command prompt and open the command prompt again because the command prompt which is already opened does not have your changes in the path, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. open a new command window and try to compile it from the desktop. Run it. Okay, so problem is not that. Can you please open the path again?
Which path? Bin one.
There is only one path, environment variables, path variable.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So what I want you to do is, can you please select the path, last one, last one. Yeah. Can you move up? There's a move up button, right? Move up, move up, completely to top.
Okay.
That is the first path I wanted to be in the path variable. So whenever the operating system is checking for an external command, whether the JavaC command is present in the path or not, first I wanted the operating system to check in this path. I don't want the operating system to check in any other path and find a wrong command. Getting it? So click OK. Click OK. Yeah. So now you can close the window and open the window again and compile and run it.
Yeah.
Got it? So what is happening here? Did you understand?
Yeah.
So can you show me the path again? Can you show me the path again? I want to explain there. So what is happening here is, okay, can you close this once, Kathy? Just only this window. Only click OK. That's all. Click OK and open the user path. So there is no user path. Okay, cool. System variables path. Okay, click on path again. Path.
This one?
Yeah. So here, because I told yesterday, the operating system will go and check path by path. It will check each and every path, right?
Yes.
It will check each and every path. So, but somehow it is finding the JavaC command somewhere else in some other path. Because of that, it is finding Java command somewhere else, which is not the right command. So that's why I wanted this particular path to be on the top. So it will directly, so the first path it will check is, this is the first path it will check and it will find the right command, right?
Yes.
So I told that if operating system does not find the Java command in the first path, then it will go to the second path, then it will go to the third path, then it will go to the fourth path, and so on until it gets that command, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
somehow it is getting the Java command somewhere else. In some other path, it is getting the Java command, which is a wrong command. So that's why I wanted the operating system to get the right command. So I'm moving my path to the top. Getting
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, click OK. And I'm making myself as presenter now. Any other questions anyone else have?
No, Ramji.
No.
Mm.
Yeah, is everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
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 Yadi, what about you?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So in today's class, we learn the new concept. So we yesterday I told that whatever you write in Java, you have to write it inside a class. Yes, I'm writing it inside a class. What I can write inside a class, I can write only variables and methods inside a class. I cannot write anything else. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now I'm writing only one method in the class. If I want, I can write multiple methods, and if I want, I can write multiple variables. That's my wish. Okay.
Yep.
So now the next point is, you people have to tell me now. So how did you face a lot of difficulties in compiling the program?
Yes. I mean, like the path.
Not the path. I'm talking about the compilation errors.
Not the first one.
No.
So no one faced any compilation. No one faced the problems. You directly got the compilation successful.
Yeah.
Yesterday I have seen that you are getting compilation errors, right? When you people are sharing, I saw that you're getting compilation errors. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then why are you saying that you did not get any compilation errors?
I mean, I did not get any when I was doing
What
it.
about others?
I'm still gonna try.
What about others? Whoever tried already? Did you face a lot of difficulty in making the program compile? Please answer.
No.
I should not ask 100 times. When I ask the question, you have to answer me.
I
So
got one compilation error. I forgot to put array sign after string. That's why.
okay. So did anyone forget to keep this S as a uppercase?
No.
No.
Just as a lowercase by any chance?
Yeah, I did
No.
that one.
Okay. Did anyone forget to keep this V as a did anyone keep V as a uppercase?
No.
No.
Did
No,
anyone
no
keep S as
workcase.
a uppercase by any chance?
No.
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 Anyone kept P as a uppercase?
No.
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 Okay. So this should not be uppercase, it should be lowercase. If you have a uppercase P, you'll get a compilation error. If you have a uppercase S, you'll get a compilation error. If you have a uppercase V, you'll have a compilation error. All these things should be lowercase, public, static, void. If you keep uppercase V, you'll get a compilation error. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
is the in string, there should be uppercase. It should not be lowercase. So this should be lowercase. Public should be P should be lowercase. S should be lowercase. V should be lowercase. Okay. Public
Okay.
static void. But whereas in string, S is uppercase.
Lamji,
Hmm.
I have questions about the public static void main.
Hmm.
So it always public static. It can be private or protect static. Can be.
Who is that? Can you tell me your name?
It always
No, can you,
right.
what is your name?
Hyun.
Yeah, Hyun. So we are still in the first class of Java, correct? I told you in
Yes.
the first class,
Uh-huh.
and don't worry about what is a public method. Don't worry about what is a static method. I will talk about what is meant by static method in one complete class. I will dedicate 1 hour class for the static keyword.
Okay.
I will dedicate what is meant by static method. I will tell. I'll make you explain by taking 1 hour class.
Okay.
And I'll make you explain what is public in 1 hour class. I'll take 1 hour class to explain what is public. Okay, I will tell you what is public, what is private, what is protected, what is default. I'll talk about everything. I
Okay.
cannot talk everything in the same first class. You don't understand that. Even if I talk about it, you don't understand that. You should learn so many things to understand what is public and what is private and what is protected. First of all, we have to cover so many things. Then only you'll understand public and private. Getting it?
Yes.
So I don't want to talk about those things now. There
Okay.
is when the time comes, I'll talk about it. I will take 1 hour class to explain that.
Okay.
Getting it?
Yep.
So this is not the right time to discuss about that. Okay. But right now, yes, the main method has to be public, static, void, main. It cannot be anything else. It cannot be anything else. Otherwise, yeah, it can be anything else. It's not a problem. You can go public, but you cannot run the program. That's what I showed yesterday. Correct?
Yep.
When you
Yes.
compile the
Yeah.
program, compilation is successful. There is no error. Compilation is successful. It's not a public method, so it need not be a public method. It can be any method. It is not a public method. It need not be a public method. Compilation will be successful. Syntax is correct. But when you run the program, the JRE will check for public static void main method only. It is not going to check any other main method. You can have multiple main methods. You can have multiple main methods. You can have void, main, integer, yeah, something like this. Getting it? But JRE won't check about this main method. JRE will check only for public static void main method. That is how the JRE is programmed. Is everyone following me?
Yeah.
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 So I showed that in the yesterday's class with examples. I removed the public method. The JRE, I'm not able to run the program. It clearly told me that I'm not able to find the public static void main method. So please declare your main method as a public static void string array method. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember that or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to answer your question, yes, if you want to run this program, it should be public static void main method. It cannot be anything else. If
Okay.
you want to run this program, because
Okay.
JRE is programmed in such a way that it will always look for public static void main method only.
Okay.
If you write any other main method, program will compile successfully, but you cannot run the program because JRE is not finding the main method which it is looking for.
Mm.
Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, and one more thing that I'm telling, the first point that I'm telling in this class is the public should be lowercase, the static should be lowercase, void should be lowercase, and s should be uppercase. In the string array, the s should be uppercase. This is how you have to write the program. If you write the program like this, then only the Java compiler will understand to compile the program. If you give a p uppercase, the Java compiler don't understand what is this. It will give a compilation error. Let me compile this program. I got an error. It's saying that this P is uppercase, so unexpected identify. So it is not able to identify this particular identifier. It is not able to identify that keyword called public. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So suppose if I give you, if I make it as lowercase p, and if I give uppercase s, it won't identify what is the static. It doesn't identify what is this, what is the meaning of this. It will identify only lowercase static. The compiler is programmed in such a way it knows only few things. It doesn't know everything, right?
Yep.
It
Yeah.
knows what is lowercase static. It doesn't know what is uppercase static. So when I compile this program, You're getting two errors. So because okay, actually there is only one error, but because it is not understanding what is the static, it is not reading this one. If it understands this, it will read this. It's saying that return type is required, even though you specify the return type, still it is saying return type is required. Okay, forget about that, but you have an error, right? You got that right?
Yes.
So now when you put S lowercase and if you put V as uppercase, still it is a problem. Still I got the problem, correct? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, it's working. I found that I had the string, the S was lowercase. That's why I had the error. Now it's working.
Yeah. So now if I put it in lowercase void, then it should work, right?
Yes.
When I compile the program, it should compile successfully. And suppose similarly, if I put S as lowercase, it will not compile. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is important. You should know. You should know this. It should be uppercase S. Even though you don't face the errors while you're writing the program for the first time, you might not know about this, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you should know about this. You should keep the lowercase letters because generally what we do is whenever we are writing any word, we'll keep the first letter as a uppercase, right? That is what we are doing from the childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is general tendency that you will write this P as a uppercase, you will write the S as a uppercase, and V as a uppercase. That's a general tendency that we are following from the childhood, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but if you do like that, the compiler will not compile that. So compiler understands only public, lowercase static, lowercase void. At the same time, you have to give uppercase S.
Okay.
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 So there is a reason for that, but I'm not going to talk about that now. So it is very early if I talk about those things. So you will slowly understand all these things. Okay.
Yeah.
So and similarly, in case of system, S should be uppercase. S should be uppercase and everything else should be lowercase. Out and println. These things should be lowercase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the first thing that you have to learn while writing a program. Which one should be in lowercase and which one should be in uppercase. The system should S should be in uppercase and S should be in uppercase here. String and system. Okay. Everything else is in lowercase. Any questions?
No.
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 Okay. So if you understand this, can I proceed to next topic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So in yesterday's class, I told that you can write only variables and methods inside a class. You cannot write anything else. But till now, I was writing only method. I never wrote a variable, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me write a variable now. Let me create a class called. Okay. Before that, let me create one more class here, class B. So this particular a.java file has two classes, class A and class B, correct?
Yeah.
A.java file has two classes, class A and
Class
class
B.
B. And in class A has only one main method, and class B, let me declare a method called M1, which is because in Java, the return type is mandatory. If you are not returning any value, you have to specify void.
Yeah, Ramji, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, we declared a main method in class A, right? So can we also declare a main method in class B also,
Yeah,
or
I'm
will it
coming
be
to
an
that.
error?
Yeah. After this topic, you can ask me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So class B has a method called M1, so which does not return any value, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important that you have to keep this in lowercase. I told void should be in lowercase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll write one more method here. I can write any number of methods, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is another method called M1 and M2. Class B contains two methods, M1 and M2, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let me write class C. So I'll declare one method called M3. Okay. So there is one method in class C, there are two methods in class B, there is one method in class A. Correct?
Yes.
So what is the logic inside this M1? I did not write any logic inside the M1, correct?
Yes.
Let me write the
Yes.
logic. I'm writing some logic inside the M1. If you observe, I'm giving S as uppercase. That is important. You have to observe that. So system dot out dot println inside M2. So that is the logic I'm giving. I'm giving some dummy logic. Whenever this method is called, this is the logic that is getting executed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So whenever this method is called, this is the logic this is getting executed, right?
Mm.
So whenever this method is called, I'm writing some dummy logic. Okay, that's all. This is the program I have written. I have written a file called a.java, and inside that file I have written three classes: class A, class B, and class C. So class A contains a main method, class B contains M1 and M2, class C contains M3.
Okay.
Now if I compile this program, the program has to be compiled successfully because there is no compilation errors. Compiled or not?
Yes.
So when I compile this program, so will I get a.class file?
Yes.
Will I get b.class file? Will I get c.class file? For every class file will be generated
Okay.
because you are compiling a.java file. In that a.java file, there are three classes: class A, class B, and class C. So when you are compiling a.java file, it will go and compile each and every class present in the a.java file. So you'll get a.class file, you get b.class file, you get c.class file.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me open the Java. This is where, no, this is not the desktop, right? On
Yeah.
desktop, November.
November.
Yeah, this is where in Java folder. You can see a.class file, b.class file, and c.class file, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, if I try to run Java, I want to run b.class file. I want to run b.class file, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
When I run the b.class file, does b.class file has a main method?
No.
No.
B.class file does not have a public static void main method, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is what is giving main method not found in class B. Please define the main method as public static void main string array. This is what I was talking about.
Okay.
So you cannot run b.class file. Okay, can you run c.class file?
No.
No.
Can you run a.class file?
Yes.
Yes.
You are able to run. So if you want to run the b.class file, yes, you should have a main method. Otherwise, you cannot run the b.class file. So let me write a main method here. Public static void main string array. Okay, this is a string array variable. This variable can be anything. The name of the variable can be anything. Okay, but what type of variable it is? It is a string array variable. Correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Inside main method of class B. Correct? That is what I'm printing. Similarly, I'll just copy this main method. I'll put it in class C also. Inside main method of class C. Let me, because I modified the program, I have to compile the program again. I got a.class file, b.class file, and c.class file because it is compiled successfully. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now when I say Java B, can I run the b.class file now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Inside main method of class B, correct? Can I run the
Yes.
c.class file now?
Yes.
Yes.
Inside main method of class C, correct? Because whenever I run the dot class file, whenever I run the b.class file, so JRE is trying to check if this b.class file has a main method. If there is a main method, then it will call the main method. When it calls the main method, the logic inside the main method will be executed.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is looking for a main method. Who is looking? JRE. JRE means Java Runtime Environment. When you are using Java command, the Java command is asking JRE to run the program internally. You are saying Java space B. You are trying to run the b.class file. So what this Java command will do is, it will go and ask JRE, hey JRE, please run this b.class file.
Okay.
The JRE will go and check in that b.class file if there is a main method. It will check for a specific main method. Public static void main, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
It will check if it finds that main method. If it finds the main method, it will call the method. When it calls the method, the logic inside the method will be executed.
Okay.
Until and unless you call the method, the logic inside the method will not be executed. Until and unless you call the method. So who is calling the main method here? JRE is calling the main method, correct?
Yes.
So is JRE calling M1 method? No, JRE is not calling M1 method. JRE is looking for a main method, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So JRE is not calling M1 method. When JRE is not calling M1 method, why this line will be executed? This line will never be executed, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So no, so M1 method is never called. It is never called by anyone. When it is never called, this logic will not be executed. When M2 method is never called, this logic is never executed, right?
Yeah.
Here main method is called by JRE, so this logic is getting executed.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
No.
So in one .java file, you can write multiple classes. That's what we are trying to understand here, correct?
Yeah.
You can write multiple classes in one .java file. In a.java file, I have written class A, class B, and class C. And you can compile the a.java file and you'll get a.class file, b.class file, and c.class file. So now you can run b.class file if you want. You can run c.class file. You can run a.class file. So because each and every .class file has a main method. Any questions?
Mm,
No.
I want everyone to respond, please.
No. No questions.
No.
No.
Okay. So now, next point is, so if you want to call this method, how will you call this method? If you want to call this functionality, you have to create an object of this
Object.
class.
Okay.
Without creating an object, can you call this functionality? Class is just a template. Class
Yeah.
does not have any meaning without an object, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there should be an object created for the class. In the previous class, I told whenever you create a human being class and whenever you write functionalities called see functionality, listen functionality, and breathe functionality, there are so many methods you have written in the human being class, and each and every method has a logic. But that if you want to, if that logic has to be executed means the functionality has to be called. If you don't call the method, that logic will never be executed, right?
Yeah.
If you want to call that functionality, you should have an object. Without object, without a human being object, can you call the C functionality? On which object you're calling the C functionality? You need an object, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So suppose assume that there is no human being objects present in this world. I am not present and you are not present. Then who will see and who will listen? Correct? There must be an object to call the functionality. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I want to call this functionality, if I want to call this method, I need a object of this class.
Yeah.
I need the object of class B. I don't want the object of class C to call this method, correct?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because that particular functionality is there inside the class B. I want a object of class B to call that functionality. For
Yeah,
example,
Ramji, I have a
yeah,
question. Can we declare an object of class B in class C?
I think you are moving forward. I'll come to each and every point where I'm still
Yeah. Okay.
talking about how to call this method.
Yeah.
I cannot create the
Yeah.
object.
Okay.
Okay, don't move forward. So just
Okay.
hold on. You'll get all your answers.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if I want to call this method, I need a object of class B, correct?
Yes.
For example, if I want to call the first gear functionality, I need a object of vehicle class. I need a car. I need a object of vehicle. I need a vehicle object to apply the first gear functionality.
Yeah.
I don't want the human being object. Human being object does not have a first gear functionality. I cannot call the first gear functionality on the human being object, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So similarly, this particular functionality is present inside the class B. So I need a object of class B to call this functionality, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I need a object of class B to call this functionality, correct?
Mm.
And I need a object of class C to call M3. To call this functionality, I need a object of class C, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did everyone understand this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So what I'll do is, now I'll write a logic inside the main method. What I'll write is, I'll create a object of class B. This is how I create a object of class B, correct?
Yes.
Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like you should have a name and
In the
everything.
first class, I told that how to create a object.
Yeah, you should have a name
Now,
and object type. B is equal to new
keyword.
name of B.
This is a keyword. New is a keyword using which you can create an object. So it should be in lowercase. It's a key. Every keyword should be in lowercase. All these are keywords. Okay, class, public, static, void. All these are keywords. They should be in lowercase. So
Okay.
new, you have for which class you want to create the object? For class B. So I have to give class B and open the parenthesis and close the parenthesis. This is the syntax for creating an object for class B. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now after creating the object of class B, I will use dot M2. I'll call the method M2. I am calling method M2 on this object. If you want to call a method M2 on the object, you need a dot operator. You should use dot, call the method. Getting it?
Yes.
So this is the object of class B, and on this object, I'm calling M2 functionality. Very good.
Okay.
That's all, nothing else. I'll save the program. Now when I compile this program, I'll get a.class file, b.class file, and c.class file. Now when I run the a.class file, the main method will be called, correct?
Yeah.
The main method will be automatically called by the JRE. JRE is calling the main method, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the main method will be automatically called by JRE. Now the entire logic present in the main method will be executed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the logic inside the main method? I am creating an object of class B, and on that object, I am calling the method M2.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then immediately the method M2 will be called because the object is created for this class, and on that object you are calling M2. So when you call M2, this logic will be executed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you will get inside M2 as a output, correct?
Yeah.
Then this M2 is completed, the logic inside the M2 is completed, the control will go back to this line because this is where it is called. So after the method M2 is executed successfully, the control will go back to this line. Now after this line, what is the next line? Is there any line after that line?
No.
It means the main method is completed, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the main method is completed, program is completed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suppose if you have any other line, suppose if you write another line of code here, so when you run this program, the main method will be called first. The object is created. On that object, you're calling the M2. So M2 method will be executed. After it is executed successfully, then the control will come back to this line. Then you go to the next line. You will print this, and the main method is completed. Because when the main method is called by the JRE, it has to execute each and every line in the main method, right?
Yeah.
Correct. when the main method is called by the JRE, it has to execute each and every line in the main method.
Yeah.
Then only
Yeah.
program will be completed. This is where the program started. The main method is called. It has to execute each and every line. Then the program will be completed.
Yeah.
So during this process, if you are creating an object and calling the method, so that method will be called, that method logic will be executed. So after that logic is completed, it will come back to this line and print this, and the main method is completed, program is completed.
Okay.
So what is the output you will get when you run this a.class file? You will get inside M2 and inside
And
main method of
still-
class A. Because you're
Yeah.
calling M2, so the M2 logic is getting executed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Inside M2 will be printed. You're printing that. You're printing inside M2, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
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 So program is compiled. Now I'll run the program Java space A. I'm running a.class file. Okay, I'm not running b.class
Yeah.
file. So I got inside M2 and inside main method of class A, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suppose when I say Java space B, the b.class file will, I am running the b.class file, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I run the b.class file, the main method will be called inside the b.class file by JRE. JRE will call this main method. It will just print this inside main method. The program is completed. Correct?
Yes.
That's all. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I run c.class file, it will call the main method inside the c.class file. It will call the main method inside the who is calling JRE. Because you're asking JRE to run the program. Java
Yeah.
command is asking JRE to run the program. So JRE is calling the main method. So the logic inside the main method will be executed, and when the main method is completed, program is completed.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Suppose if I run a.class file, so JRE will go and check the main method in the class A. JRE will go and check the main method in the class A. It will call this main method. Now it will create the object and call the method M2. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Call the method M2 on that object. On that object, it is calling method M2 by using a dot operator.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So M2 will be called. The logic is executed. Then it come back to this line. So this line is also printed. So the entire thing is completed. Correct?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
No.
No.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you understand how to create an object for a class?
Yes.
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 By using a new keyword, you have to create the object. And if you want to call any functionality on that object, because you need a object. If you want to call a functionality, you need a object no matter what.
Yeah.
You need a object to call the functionality, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ramji, can you tell that example once again with multiple objects?
That's why I'm telling, please hold on. I'm talking about one object. I don't want to
Yeah,
complicate
okay.
the topic immediately.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
Sorry.
will complicate it. See, you don't even imagine how I make this program complicate. I'll complicate this program like anything. So just hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
So I am creating an object for class A or sorry class B. I'm creating an object for class B and calling the method on that object. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
For example, if I call the method M3 instead of M3, if I call M2, if I call the M3. So can I call the method M3 on class B object?
No.
No.
Does class B has a method M3?
No.
No.
Class B does not have a functionality called M3. When
Yeah.
class B does not have a when you don't write a method called M3 in class B, how can you call that method on the class B object? Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So that should be a compilation error. First of all, the compiler will not compile this program. When compiler is compiling this, it will compile line by line. It will check the syntax in this line. If the syntax is correct, it will go to the, because compiler will just check the syntax, nothing else. Compiler will not run the program. It is checking the syntax, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then it will come to the next line. It will check the if the syntax is correct. So what it will check is, okay, this is a class B. Inside class B, do you have M3 or not? That's what it will check. It is not calling M3. It is just checking if M3 is present or not.
Yeah.
Okay. If it doesn't find M3, compiler will give a compilation error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me compile this program again. Do you get the error? Cannot find the symbol. It is not able to find this. What is this M3? It is not able to find that symbol.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the problem here. So you have to write M2 or M1. Can you call M1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So class B has a functionality called M1, correct?
Yes.
Right.
So now let me compile this program. Let me run this program. Got it? I got
Yeah.
inside M1, not inside M2, because I'm calling M1, not the M2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling this particular functionality on this particular object, on the class B object. I created a object of class B and calling that functionality on that object. So without an object, can I call the functionality?
No.
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 You cannot call the functionality without an object. Object is must. See, we are learning object-oriented programming language. So in every day, what are the programs I'm going to write? What are the programs I'm going to write every day? What I'll do is I'll create an object and call the functionality. I'll create an object and call the functionality. That's what I'm going to do, because without object there is nothing.
Yes. Yes.
Without object you cannot call the functionality. If you want to call the functionality, you need an object.
Right.
So
Yes.
every day this is the same thing I'm going to do. For the next 2 months, I'm going to do the same thing. I will write some program. I'll create an object for that class and call the functionality on that object.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to create an object and call the functionality. Nothing else I'll do. So, for example, I told that for one class, you can create any number of objects. Agreed?
Yes.
For
Yeah.
Yes.
example,
Agree.
human being class, you can create any number of objects. I am one of the object. You are one of the object. The other person is the other object. You can have millions and millions of objects. There is no restriction. Correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So for one class, you can create any number of objects. Right now, I created the first object of class B. Correct?
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll create another object, new B. This is the second object of class B. This is the second object of class B. Correct?
Yes.
Every time I say new, a new object will be created.
Yeah.
So now I'm creating a second object of class B, and on this object, I'm calling the functionality called M2. Can I call the method for M2 on the second object?
Yes.
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 Because every object will have those functionalities. For example, I am a human being object. I have a functionality called see. I have a functionality called listen. I have a functionality called breathe. Similarly, you are a human being object. Your object also has a functionality called see, and your object also has a functionality called listen, and your object also has a functionality called breathe. Correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Every object of human being class will have all those functionalities that are present in the human being class.
Yeah.
Will you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So now this second object of class B also has a functionality called M2. The second object of class B also has a functionality called M1.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
call M2 or M1. That's my wish. Which functionality I'm calling?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
first object of class B, also has a functionality called M1. It also has a functionality called M2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm calling M1 functionality on the first object. I'm calling M2 functionality on the second object. Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now when I run this, when I compile this, first of all, I have to compile this program to run this program, right?
Yeah.
So I'm compiling this program. Now I'll run Java a.class. When I run a.class file, the JRE will automatically call the main method. JRE will check for the main method and it will automatically call the main method, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So then what is the first line of code in this main method? The object is created for class B and on that object M1 method is called.
Got it.
So the M1 method will be called on the first object of class B. So this M1 will be called, correct?
Yes.
So it will print inside M1, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So this M1 method is the logic inside the M1 is completed. So when the logic inside the M1 is because M1 is called, when it is called, it has to complete the entire logic in the method M1, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, there is only one line, but in real time, you'll have multiple lines of code, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it will complete each and every line. And when the M1 is completed, then the control will go back to the calling place where it is called. This is where it is called, correct?
Yes.
Then it will go back to the next line because this line is executed successfully. Because when the main method is called, each and every line has to be executed, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So this line is executed successfully. It will go to the second line. It will create an object of class B. It will create another object. This is the second object it is creating. Every time it's see new, it will create a new object, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
So it is creating the second object of class B and you're calling the method M2 on the second object of class B. So on the second object, the method M2 is called. So this method M2 is called on the second object and it will print this line.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Everyone, am I
Yeah,
going
No.
understood.
Yeah.
No, Ramji.
So this method M2 is completed. The control will go back to this particular line now because this line is executed successfully, correct?
Yes.
The control will go back to next line. So now it will print inside main method of class A. So it means it is printing inside M1, it is printing inside M2, and it is printing inside main method of class A. This is the output you get, and the main method is completed, program is completed. Because the program started with the main method, when the main method is completed, program will be completed.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
No.
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 So let me compile this program, run this program. So inside M1, inside M2, inside main method of class A. Any questions here?
No.
No.
Everyone, I'm just listening only 2-3 people.
No, Ramji.
No. No.
No.
No.
Okay, is it okay if I go with this speed?
Yes.
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 Okay, now what I'll do is I'll change the program now. I'll remove this. Okay, and I'm calling the method M1 on the class B object. So what logic I'll write inside M1 means I'll create the object of class C. I can write any logic inside this method, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm getting object of class C and I'll call M3. Can I call M3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does class C object has method M3?
Yes.
Does this object has this functionality? Yes, there is a functionality. Because class C has a method M3. If you want to call this method, you need an object of this class.
Yeah.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I created an object of class C and calling M3.
Mm.
Now tell me, when I compile after the compilation, when I run this program, so the main method will be called first. So the object of class B is created, and you are calling M1 on that object, correct?
Yes.
When you
Yes.
call the M1 on that object, the method M1 on that object, so the method M1 will be called, the entire logic in the M1 will be executed, right?
Yes.
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 So the first line is you're creating the object of class C and calling M3.
Yes.
Okay.
So then on that, so the M3 will, whenever you call M3, M3 will be called, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So the logic inside M3 will be executed. So it will print inside M3. That is the first output you will see inside M3, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
So this M3 is completed. You called M3, the logic inside M3 is completed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then the
Yes.
control will go back to the calling place where it is called here.
Hmm.
So then control will go back to next line, correct?
Yes.
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 So it will print inside M1. This is the second output you see. Inside M3 is the first output. Inside M1 is the second output, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So then this
Yes.
is completed. The method M1 is completed. The control will go back to the calling place. It is called at this place. M1 is called here.
Yes.
So it will go to the next line. Inside main method of class A. So the main method is completed. The program is completed.
Yeah.
So inside M3, inside M1, and inside main method of class A is the output. Correct?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
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 So I am creating a object of class B inside class A.
Yes.
And I'm creating a object of class C inside class B.
Hmm.
I am creating a object of class C inside class B.
Okay.
And I'm creating a object of class B inside class A. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want, you can create the object of class B in the same class. You can create the object of class B in the class B itself. That's your wish. Wherever you want to create the object, you can create the object.
Yeah, but B don't have M3, right, Ramji?
That's a compilation error.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So when I compile this program, I'll get a compilation error.
Yeah.
Correct? At what line
Yeah.
number 32? Line number 32, there is a compilation error. In a.java file, at line number 32, there is a compilation error. Correct?
Yes.
So in
Yes.
this line number 32, line number 32 is this. There is a compilation error here because there is no functionality for this object, class B object. There is no method M3. There is no
Yes.
functionality called M3 inside class B.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you should give maybe M2. M2 is there inside
Yes.
class B, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So now when I run this program, the main method will be called first. The class B object is created. You are calling M1. So M1 will be called. So inside this M1, you are creating another object of class B. Every time you
Yes.
say new object will be created.
Yeah.
So you are creating another object of class B and calling M2 on that. So when you call M2 on the another object of class B, so it is printing inside M2. This is the first output you see.
Yes.
Yes.
So then after this M2 is completed, the control will go back to the calling place.
Yeah.
This is
Then
where
inside
M2 is
M1.
called. So it is going back to here. Then it will print the next line inside M1.
Yes, madam.
So this M1 is completed. Now control is going back to the calling place where M1 is called. Right? It will print inside main method of class A. Now the main method is completed. So program is completed. Any questions here, please?
No.
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 No,
I don't
Ramji.
want to see so much of silence in the class.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
wanted you to interact with me, and if you have any questions, please ask me. If you understand, tell me you understood.
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it? Inside
Yeah.
M2, inside M1, inside main method of class A.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to explain in today's class is how to create an object for a class and how to call the methods on that object.
Okay.
Okay.
Create an object of class A, you can create an object of class B, you can create an object of class C. Whatever the object you want to create for whichever the class you want to create, you can create it by using a new keyword.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So after creating the object, you can call the functionalities on that object. you can call the M1 on that object, you can call M2 on that object, you can call M3 on that object. So if those functionalities are present for that object.
Okay.
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 Any questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, it's okay, Ramesh.
Yes.
Okay. So next, shall I proceed to next topic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I created one object. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me write let me delete all. Let me make the program simple. I don't want to complicate it. So there is only one class, class A, and class A has a main method, right?
Yes.
Let me delete all these things. That's all. It's simple, class A, and it has a main method, right?
Main method. Yes.
So
Yes.
now I'll write one more class called human beings. Okay.
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 So in this human beings class, I will write a method called C method. Method C. It does not return any. So the return type is mandatory. You should not forget that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And there's a method called listen. So for time being, for the interest of the time, I'm just writing two methods in the class. Okay. I'm not writing so many functionalities in the human being class. I'm just writing two functionalities. Okay.
Okay.
So now in the C functionality, I'll write some dummy logic. I'll write some dummy logic. I'm not writing the actual logic of you are seeing the things in the world. Correct.
Yes.
I'm writing some dummy logic. System.out.println inside C. Whenever this functionality is called, this logic will be executed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So system.out.println
Println inside listen.
inside listen. This is what I'm writing. So I'm writing some dummy logic. Okay. Now I create a object for the human being class in class A. So can I create the object here?
No. I mean, yes,
Whatever
yes.
you write in
Yes.
Java, you have to write it inside
Yes.
a class. And you can write only variables and methods inside a class. You cannot write anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is not a variable. This is not a method. Can you write this inside class?
No.
No.
No, you cannot write. This is a method. You can write this
Yeah.
inside class, correct?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
whatever you want, you can write it.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can write whatever you want inside method, but not
Yes.
inside the
Yes.
class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inside the
Yes.
class, you can write only variables and methods, correct?
Yes.
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 I cannot simply say that new human beings here. This is wrong. This is a wrong syntax. Class cannot contain this line.
Okay.
Class
Yes.
can contain only variables and methods. This is not
Okay.
a variable.
Yeah.
This is not a method. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
I compile this program, I'll get a compilation error. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Saying that illegal start of type. It is illegal to write anything inside a class other than variables and methods. Other
Okay.
than
Yeah.
variables and methods, you cannot write anything else inside a class. That is what I'm telling from day one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you cannot write this line inside this at this place. You can write it inside a method if you want. Correct?
Yeah.
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 So I created a object of the human beings class. Correct?
Right.
Yes.
Now on that object, for example, I created one object. On that object, I'm calling the functionality called C.
See.
So what the output I'll get when I compile and run this program?
Inside
Inside
C.
C.
Inside C.
Right? Because when I compile this program, I'll get a.class file. I'll get human beings.class file. I'll get two .class files. Correct?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
But can I run the human beings.class file?
No.
No.
I can run only a.class file because a.class file has a main method, whereas human beings.class file does not have a main method. Correct?
Method.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So when I compile this program, so when I compile this program, I got a.class file and human beings.class file. So now when I say human beings, I get an error saying that main method not found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No
No.
question.
No.
No.
Okay. Now the question is, if I want to call the listen functionality on the same object, see this is the object I created. I don't want to create another object. I created only one object. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
On the same object, if I want to call the functionality called listen, because I am a human being object, so I can see and I can listen. I can do both the functionalities, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can
Yes.
call the see functionality on my object. You can call the listen functionality on my object, correct? On the same
Yes.
object, you should be able to call whatever the functionality you want.
Yes.
But now I want to call see functionality and I also want to call the listen functionality on the same object.
Okay.
How will I call the listen functionality on the same object?
Declare a
You
name
have to
like
create.
first class. You said you have to give a name and
Yeah. So did you remember that? So
yeah.
Yes.
if I call the listen functionality like this, for example, if I call like this, I'm not calling it on the same object. It is a different object. Every time I say new, it's a new object, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I want to call the see functionality on the first object. I also want to call the listen functionality on the same first object.
Yes.
So I don't want to create a new object and call the listen functionality on the second object. I want to call it on the first object only.
Yes.
Okay.
Did everyone understand that point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how to do that? So what I can do is I'll create a human being object. Sorry, human beings, right? New human beings. Class name, the name of the class.
Yes. Space, Ramji.
New space human beings, correct?
Yes.
Now what I'll do is I have to identify this object with a name. Maybe I'll say Ramji equal to the object is identified by name. See, everyone is a
Yes.
human being object. I am a human being object. You are a human being object. But in order to identify our objects, we have a name, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your object also has all the functionalities, and my object also has all the same functionalities. So
Yes.
everyone is a human being object. But if I want to talk with a specific object, there should be a name. Otherwise, I cannot talk, right? Name
Yeah.
is
Yes.
Yeah.
to identify the object, nothing to do. It is just to identify the object. There is no other meaning for the name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to identify your object, I am calling you with a name. Name does not denote the object. So name is not an object. Name is just to identify the object.
Okay.
Got it? So left hand side
Yes.
is not an object. Right hand side is the object, correct?
Object.
Yes.
Yes.
You should clearly know what is an object here. The right hand side is an object, not the left hand side. Left hand side is a name to identify the object, correct?
Yes.
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 Suppose when I say int a equal to 2, for example. Okay? If I
Yeah.
say string s is equal to abc, correct?
Yes.
If I say boolean b equal to false. Okay? So
Yes.
here a is a integer. Okay?
A is the
And
name of the integer.
s is a string, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And b is a boolean, correct?
Yes.
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 If we don't specify a as an integer, if we just say a equal to 2, will Java
No.
compile and understand what is a?
No.
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 Whenever you are using some variable, you are using a variable a, you have to tell what type of variable it is. Is it an integer variable or is it a string variable? Is it a boolean variable? What type of data can be stored in that variable? You have to declare that first,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So when I say I have to declare that first. I have to say int a. I have to declare the variable first, then I can give the value to that variable. First of all, I have to declare that it is an integer variable. I have to declare. This is called declaration. The variable declaration. I'm declaring a variable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm giving the value to the variable. Agreed?
Yes.
If I don't declare this, the Java compiler don't understand what is A.
Yes.
It is a software, right? It doesn't understand if you don't say what is A. You have to say what is A. Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, you can declare the variable, then you can assign the value. This is how you're assigning a value. This is how you're declaring a variable. Correct?
Yes.
But instead of that, I can do like this also. Int A equal to 2. So the declaration and the initialization happening at the same line. I'm declaring the variable and I'm initializing the variable with a value at the same line, in the same line.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So instead of writing 2 lines, I can write it in 1 line. Int A equal to 2. It means I'm declaring the variable as an integer. At the same time, I'm initializing the variable with a value.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it?
Yes.
So similarly, this is here also I'm declaring the variable and initializing the variable with a value.
Yes.
So I'm declaring a variable and initializing the variable with a value. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
The declaration and initialization are happening in the same line. Correct?
Yes.
So similarly, when I say new human beings, I'm creating an object. I am creating an object. And when I say Ramji equal to new human beings, will Java compiler understand what is Ramji? I have to declare what is Ramji first. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have to declare whether it's an integer variable, whether it's a string variable, or whether it's a boolean variable. I have to declare that variable, then give the value to that variable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to identify this object with this variable. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have to declare this variable first. How will I declare this variable? What type of, can I declare it as an integer variable?
No.
No.
If I declare it as an integer variable, I have to store only integer value in that variable. I cannot store the human being object in that variable.
Yes.
This is not an integer variable. I should not declare it as an integer variable. If I declare it as an integer variable, I have to just store int Ramji equal to 2 or 5 like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is not what I want. I want to store the object in that variable. So I cannot declare this variable as a integer, correct?
Yes.
So can I declare this variable as a string?
No.
No, I cannot do that. Because if it is a string variable, I have to store only string values like this. So the string means it should be in double quotes. Any text which is in double quotes is a string. Getting it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I cannot declare this variable as a string variable because I want to store the human being object. So I cannot declare this variable as a string. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I declare this as a boolean variable?
No.
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 Because I want to store the human being object, not the boolean value. I don't want to store true or false. Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So I cannot declare this variable as a boolean variable. Then how should I declare this variable? I should declare this variable as a human beings variable. This is also a data type. This is this class. What are the class you have written? That is also a data type.
Okay.
That is a user defined data type. You are defining this data type, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Whereas integer, string, and boolean, all these are predefined data types. They are predefined. It's already defined in Java. Java knows what is integer, what is string, what is boolean already, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
You are not defining those data types. Those data types are already defined. They are predefined. So this particular data type is a user-defined data type. It's a custom data type. Custom means customized. User customize that. It's a user-defined data type. Getting it?
Got it.
Yeah.
So this variable should be of type human beings. So human
Okay.
beings variable can hold human beings object. Human beings variable can hold human beings object. Integer variable can hold integer value.
Integer object.
Variable can hold string value. Boolean variable can hold Boolean value. Human beings variable can hold human beings object.
Okay.
Very good.
Yes.
So similarly, if I want to create the object of class A, I can refer this object with class A variable. This is a variable O is a class A variable which is referring to this object, which is identifying that object, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
This variable is of type class A. I cannot store class A object in the human beings variable. I cannot store that. Human beings variable can store only human beings objects. Class A variable can store only class A objects. Class B variable can store only class B objects. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is wrong. Human beings variable cannot store class A object. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A variable name can be anything. It can be Ram, it can be anything else. It can be X, it can be Y, it can be Z. Correct?
Yes.
It is just a name. It's just a name to identify the object. That name can be anything.
Yeah.
Now I created an object. I'm referring this object with a variable which is of type human beings. So you can write the same thing in other words. You can declare the variable first, then you can give the value to that variable. This is also same. Correct?
Right.
You can declare the variable as a human beings variable. After you declare, then give the value to that variable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of this, you can declare and you can initialize at the same line.
Mm.
Okay?
Yes.
Any questions on this? I know that I'm going fast, but if you have any concerns, please stop me. I can go slowly. No, I'm still seeing a lot of silence in the class. I want everyone to respond.
No question.
Don't
No
make
questions,
me to
Ramji.
ask name by name. Everyone, I just heard two voices. Everyone else?
Understood. Yeah.
Understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, understood. Understood.
So now I created an object of human beings class. I'm referring this object with this variable. I'm referring that object with this variable, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I say Ramji, this object will respond,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whenever I say
Yeah.
Ramji, this object will respond. And whenever I say Divya, Divya's object will respond. Whenever I say Savanthi, Savanthi's object will respond, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the name is just to identify the object. So whenever I
Yes.
say Ramji, Ramji's object will respond. This object is referred by this name.
Yes.
I'm referring that object with this name, right?
Yep.
If someone wants to talk to me, or if someone wants to, suppose you want to talk about me with Shravanti, you want to talk with Shravanti about me. So how will you say, hey, Ramji told this? You are referring my object with my name, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are referring my object with my name.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this object is referred by this name, by this variable. In real world, we call it as a name, but in Java, in software language, it is a variable, right?
Yes.
So this particular object is referred by this variable, and this variable is of type human beings variable, correct?
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is called a reference variable because it is referring to an object. The other word for this variable is reference variable because this variable is referring to an object.
Okay.
You can call this variable as a reference variable because this variable is referring to this object. So going forward, whenever I say reference variable, don't get confused.
Okay.
Fine?
Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, what I say is, what I'm trying to say here is, when Ramji dot C. I'm calling this functionality on Ramji. Ramji means what? Ramji is nothing but it is referring to this object.
Object.
So on that object, I'm calling this functionality C.
Yeah.
And when I say Ramji dot listen, so on this Ramji is nothing but it's a human being's variable, right? So it is referring to
Yes.
this object.
Yes.
So on that particular object, I'm calling the listen functionality. So you're calling C functionality and you're calling listen functionality on my object.
Yes.
Similarly, I can do human beings. Okay. Suppose some x is equal to new human beings. Otherwise, human beings 70. See, I'm still the names are not registered in my mind. Only 2-3 names are registered. So until and unless I'll use the same example.
Yeah.
So 70 dot
C.
correct.
Yeah.
So I'm calling this listen functionality on this particular object. This is on this 70 is just a name. This name is referring to this object, correct? This is
Yeah.
just a variable, just a reference variable which is referring to this object. Whenever I say 70, this object will be referred. On that object, the listen functionality is getting called.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Similarly, when I say 70 dot C, the C functionality will be called on the same object. So now did I achieve that? Whatever I said, I am calling the same, I'm calling on the same object, different functionalities, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So by using this reference variable, but if I don't give any reference variable, if I don't give a name to this object, if I don't have a variable to refer this object, so I created the object in line number 8, but I cannot use that object in the line number 9.
Okay.
I created the object in the line number 8, but I cannot use the object in the line number 9. How will I use that? I don't have a reference to this object.
Yes.
Yes.
So if I say new human beings, a new object is getting created. I don't want to create a new object. I want to use the same object which I already created.
Yeah.
I want to use the same object which I already created, but it is not possible because because that object does not have a reference.
Reference value. Yeah.
Hmm.
Reference value.
Yes.
I
Variable.
cannot use the object in the line number 9. So that's why it's a good practice whenever you're writing a Java programs, whenever you're creating the objects, that object should have a reference because you are creating an object means you want to use the object at later point of time, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So if you want to use that object at later point of time, you should have a reference to that object.
Hmm.
So whenever you create the objects, just please create a reference also.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, Ramji.
No.
No.
Yeah, with this, I'm stopping this class. I know that I told so many things today. I told very fastly. So please, I mean, actually, it is just basics. But you are a beginner, right? So it will be too much for you. It
Yeah.
will be too much for you
Yeah.
because you are a beginner. Actually, it is not. Actually, it is nothing. It is just a small basics we learned today.
Yes.
Okay. So please go through these things. Please practice the things and come to the evening class.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What time, Ramji, today evening class?
Yeah, evening class again. Let's have it. Let's have it 9:30. Is it fine?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine, Ramji.
Because even if I make it at 10 o'clock, the other girl is not able to attend the class. So I think so. Let's make it a little early.
Yeah, 9:30 is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Ikram, you have to go through the recording. Okay.
Yes, yes, I will. Yeah,
You're not able to attend the class, right? You have to go through the recording and practice the things. That is most important. You have to practice the things.
yeah. Don't
Okay.
worry. Yes.
Just listening to the recording will not give you anything. I'm telling you again, everyone. I'm telling everyone, please write
Yeah.
the program with your hands and compile it
Okay.
and run it. Then you'll understand. Otherwise, you don't understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's
Bye.
meet at 9:30 Eastern time in the evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.